L.A. Marzulli is an author, lecturer and filmmaker. He's penned 13 books, including the Nephilim Trilogy, which made the CBA bestsellers list. L.A. has teamed up with film producer Richard Shaw to create the Watchers series. There are now 11 installments in the series, and Watchers 7, UFO Physical Evidence, won UFO Best Film and the People's Choice Awards at the UFO Congress in 2014. He also has a monthly magazine, which is widely read. In fact, anything UFO related, and LA is on the trail. Let's welcome him in. Hello, LA.
Hi, Dean. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Now, it's a real pleasure. Well, today I thought we could concentrate on an aspect of ufology that has really become popular in recent years, and it's the UFO Bible connection. But, you know, trying to find a starting point is a little bit difficult. So where do you start with the Bible and the UFO connection?
That's a really good question, and I'm not sure I know the answer to that. But I would say this. It starts back in Genesis 3:15. In other words, unless we understand that we're in the midst of a cosmic war that has been raging in an unseen dimension for we don't know how long, millennia, all right? And there are good guys and bad guys in this cosmic war. The Bible illustrates that, talks about it, and that's that thread that continues from Genesis to Revelation. Most people don't look at it that way. That's why I wrote the book, The Cosmic Chess Match, because in fact, that's what it is. And these two opposing forces are going at it even into modernity. So a good place to start would be Genesis 3:15, where the Most High God says to the dragon, your offspring will be at war with the offspring of the woman. He will crush your head, you will bruise his heel. So that's a very charged, pregnant statement. So let's sort of, dissect this a little bit. The dragon is this entity which, this is why the serpent motif is all over the globe, by the way. The dragon motif, the serpent motif, all over the globe. So the dragon is there. He knows that the seed of the woman, someone is going to come and crush his head, take his kingdom from him. So he doesn't like that thought. So the rest of the biblical narrative, in my opinion, deals with the coming one who will crush the dragon's head and everything the dragon does to prevent that. And when you start looking at the biblical narrative in that light, which is what the Cosmic Chess Match, the book, does, it changes everything. Because what we see is move, counter move, move, counter move, move, counter move between the dragon and the Most High God. And the protocols of this heavenly war we're not privy to them. We get glimpses of them from time to time and throughout scripture, but we don't get the playbook. So we can only kind of look at some things which are here, and then we don't understand, well, why does he allow that? Why doesn't he just do this? But the protocols of this engagement are set in a way that they're going to play this thing out. And that's where we are in modernity.
So are we talking spiritual entities or physical entities?
Well, spiritual entities can certainly be physical entities. In other words, let's just go back to the biblical narrative. For those of you who believe in the narrative, this might, you'll just shrug your shoulders and go, yeah, okay. For others, this may be something different. But when Jesus is crucified and he's killed, 2,000 years ago, and he rises again from the dead, according to what Christians believe. Of course, that's my belief too. But he shows up to the apostles. The apostles are all in this upper room. They're all freaked out. Maybe we're next, right? What's going to happen? And this is all, the documented evidence of it. So he comes in through the wall. He just comes right in through the wall. And we know you can't do that, right? Mm-hmm. And he appears to them, and they're all freaked out. They think it's a ghost. And he goes, not so fast. What do you guys got to eat? He sits down and he has a meal with them. They bring him some fish and bread. He eats it with them. And then he just vanishes again. Hello. I mean, that's just like, when we look at that, you see, the problem is most, especially in modernity, most people in the West have this really truncated view of the supernatural. And it's so much more complex than anything we can possibly conceive. So we've got this really narrow, truncated view. Angels are on clouds with harps and all this crazy stuff, which has nothing to do with anything. First of all, angelic beings are so powerful that when they do appear, people do face plants. In fact, that's literally what the biblical narrative says. It says this, I'm quoting, and when the angel appeared, I fell on my face. So that's a face plant. I mean, we can tap dance around that, but it's a face plant. So these entities are really, really powerful, both the good ones and the bad ones. When the bad ones appear, and I spoke at the Arkansas UFO. I was the keynote there this year, which is a real honor for me. So I spoke to the crowd, and I just said, how many of you think it's okay to abduct a 5-year-old and implant them? Not one hand went up. Not one. Like 500 people in the room. Not one hand. They all know, viscerally, instinctively, that it's not cool to abduct a 5-year-old and put something in his body without his parents' consent. They all know that. And I looked at him and I said, you just proved my point. What are you guys doing? What are you guys doing here? You know it's not a good thing. So why are we saying that these entities are benevolent and we just don't understand them and all this other stuff? So look, the whole UFO thing is a saying I wrote years ago, real, burgeoning, and not going away. And that's, a 25-year-old phrase, whatever it is. And they're here. Disclosure is happening. Things are happening. But I've called it, and I've called it this for 20 years, this is the coming great deception. This will change the entire planet, and everyone will just go ding like this and, believe whatever these entities tell us to believe.
Right. So fast forwarding all the way through to Revelation, and with an apparent, the UFO phenomena appearing to just be ramping right up at the moment. And I'm not sure whether that's got to do with the technology people have got now and are capturing more stuff on film and camera, but the coming of Christ, we've seen so many false alarms over the years, but do you think we may be getting close to that point now?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a date setter, but I mean, all the punch list he gave us to look at is happening right under our noses for those of us who are tracking with this stuff. The majority of the people on the planet have no idea what that punch list is, nor do they care. Many people just kind of slough it off as, it's stained glass windows and people with robes and, celibate priests that are buggering the 8-year-olds behind the confessional and just weird stuff, right? But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about a supernatural experience that changed the entire Western world as we know it, turned the thing on its head. So something happened in antiquity and still happens in modernity. It happened to me 39 years ago, changed my entire life. So I know it's real. It's real for you, but it might not be real for me. Well, that's a convenient cop-out. Of course it's real for you, but people just have to ask for it. When people ask for it, then he comes in and things begin to change. So I think the punch list is there. The wars and rumors of wars, check. Earthquakes in diverse places, check. Famines and pestilence, check. Signs in the sky and the heavens, check. Men fainting from fear of what is coming upon the earth, not yet, but we're getting close to that maybe. Volcanic activity is through the roof. Same thing with the earthquakes, through the roof. The whole thing with climate change, which I don't believe in for one stinking second. Now we're talking like the coldest winter we've had in America's history. Oh my God. So what is it? I mean, you guys just keep doing this through the years and you just change your thing. Do I believe that people should be stewards of the planet? Absolutely. Am I for, conserving the rainforest and the redwoods? Absolutely. Conserving the dolphins and the whales? Absolutely. Maybe we should, instead of legislating straws, right? Maybe we should all figure out well, why don't we just clean up the crap on our own beach?
Yeah.
Why don't, instead of you guys legislating us, why don't we just go? I've been to Peru numerous times. The place is a pigsty. It's a pigsty. You can't go swimming in the ocean. There's just trash everywhere. In fact, we shamed the local authorities because we went out and started picking up the trash on the beach. Our team of about 6 or 7 people down there. We're all picking up the trash on the beach. The next day, all these federales descended on the beach and started picking up the trash. It's like, dare they be overrun by the gringos. But that's what we should be doing. We should have, especially Christians, should have this awe and respect for the environment and all things in it. Because, all God's creatures, great and small. But I mean, it's true. all God's creatures, great and small. If you believe in a God and you believe in the environment and the oceans and the complexity of life and the unbelievable magical properties of the DNA, one would have to point back to the creator and go, wow, you've really done something well. And we've pretty much messed up the room. You know, we've completely screwed it up on so many levels. It's like, you got to come back to fix it because we can't fix it. So.